Hello loves, my name is Jessica Diamond and welcome to my channel. First things first, I've been sick for the past 2 weeks. I'm very congested and it's just not a pretty picture going on up in my nose and my head and everything. So my voice is different. I don't know if it's different sounding, but it's definitely different to me hearing it. So just want to let you know my cold is lingering and not going away, probably not anytime soon. I'm sorry if I sound extra nasal and extra annoying or monotone right now. As if you could probably tell from the title, if anyone reads those at all, I'm doing something a little different. As I've mentioned before, I'm a screenwriting major. I have my BFA in writing for film, television, and digital media. And because film and television is a huge part of who I am, I want to incorporate that more into my channel. I love makeup, of course, but I'm more than just that. Another thing that I love is horror, especially around this time of year with autumn and fall. I love horror movies all year round, but it's just extra special, I guess, during this time of year. And I want to start doing episode reviews of a TV show I'm currently watching, and I've been wanting to start this little series with American Horror Story, but because in the past with school and everything I haven't been able to. So now here I am and I'm doing American Horror Story Cult. I can't believe we're already in season 7. I've never talked about American Horror Story on my channel unless it was just mentioned in a favorites video or my fall favorites tag video. So for your reference, my top 3 American Horror Story seasons is number 1, Asylum, number 2 is Murder House, and number 3 is Roanoke. And I know I'm going to get side eyes at Roanoke. A lot of people don't like that season, and that's okay. The only thing that nearly ruined it for me was Ryan Murphy, the creator and writer of American Horror Story, basically kept that season a whole secret until they started airing episodes. I follow, you know, the TV junk news like Entertainment Weekly and, you know, Twitter and everything like that. I try my best to keep up with pop culture, especially with television shows and the genres I'm interested in that I want to like have a career in. And Ryan Murphy, he basically nearly ruined that season for me because he kept his mouth shut all the way up until it started airing. It was like, oh yeah, after 5 episodes it's going to be a completely different season, and then the last 2 are completely different too, and that kind of led me predicting how that season was gonna go. That least favorite is, well, it used to be Coven, and I know that's everyone's favorite, but I need to rewatch Coven because I've heard so many good things about it, and it turned me off with the whole, it just turned into a big race issue for me, and I wanted more like witchy vibes. And I know that Coven went into voodoo, and you can't like have voodoo without the race issues and everything like that. So I want to give that show, that series, season, whatever, another watch. So I'm not naming that as my least favorite. I'm going to name Hotel as my least favorite because there was so much sex in that. And, you know, I don't have a problem with blood or sex, but I felt like it was overdone and too much. And a big thing for me is that for Hotel, I predicted the entire season in the first episode. I was just like, in the first episode, okay, Wes Bentley is the 10 Commandments killer, and he was. And that's all there really was to it. There wasn't any twist or surprises or anything like that. And maybe that's my fault because I have the habit, without even meaning to, I do predict horror movie outcomes, the twists and everything. I predict those, and about 90% of the time I'm right. And that's my own fault. So now that I've rambled on, basically how I'm going to set up my reviews is I'll give a brief premise. I'm not going to go into the whole entire episode beat by saying this is what happened, this is what happened. I kind of assume that if you're watching this, you've already seen the show, so you know the episode. I don't need to rehash it for you unless something big happened. And if you're watching and you haven't seen the show, then you don't want spoilers. Now, of course, if there's ever going to be like a big moments, big twists, surprise reveals, or anything in these upcoming episodes, I will, of course, give my input and spoil that scene, or whatever. I'll talk about that scene. Will give like my overall opinion, my theories about the shows, like my predictions. I'm sorry if my predictions might be spoilers for you. That clock's going off. And then I'll score it like however number out of 10, you know, closer to 10, then I loved it, and the furthest away from 10 is so-so. I think everyone knows how that scale works. As a whole, like when they first announced they were going to do the election, if you don't know, okay, American Horror Story Cult, it takes place after, well, on and after the results of the 2016 presidential election. And when they announced they were going to do this, I was like, really? It's so soon to be doing a show that we're living in. Like, this is our life in some aspect. And I mean, hats off to the writers. From the writers' point of view, I totally respect them for being this ballsy and doing something like this so soon. On the other hand, it was kind of, when I first read about the premise, I wasn't too sure if I wanted to give the season a chance, but for the most part, I love American Horror Story. I've stuck with every single season, so I'm going to keep on doing so, even with Cult. I really hoped that it was going to be more like symbolic with kind of how the world is acting today, with how some of Trump supporters are, and even Hillary Clinton supporters, just how the world is. I thought it'd be more symbolic and not so literal, and I feel like after watching last night's episode, it was kind of more literal than symbolic. Let's get into the episode. It was called Election Night, and if you watched it, you know it takes place on the results of the 2016 election results, and we meet Allie and her wife and their son. They're sobbing and worrying about their future because they are two women that are married, and they're afraid their rights are going to be taken away from them when Trump wins. And they have their friends over, I believe they're the Changs, and that's important because the Changs get murdered at the end of the episode. And the wife, Mrs. Chang, we'll call her, it's revealed that she voted for Jill, and I loved that. And I love that they addressed this for a personal reason where they needed 10,000 votes basically for Hillary to really win the electoral. They brought up the point that people wasted their votes with the other two candidates instead of like putting them towards Trump or Hillary, and I like that they brought that issue out. Allie has a huge phobia of clowns and trypophobia, the one with the holes. I need to re-look up the phobia names. And so her phobias basically come back, and they're very heightened after these election results. Yeah, we're gonna jump to the supermarket scene. That was almost too much for me. I mean, I'm afraid of clowns. I have a phobia of them, but I've never have imagined them having sex in the supermarket or masturbating. Kind of get the feel for Allie that she's not stable, and I guess in a way you're supposed to sympathize with her because she's afraid of losing her rights. We believe she's a Hillary Clinton supporter, and we know how people reacted to those results. That's all I'm going to say. To me though, okay, it's revealed that she actually voted for Jill. And to me this kind of took away the sympathy and how she's feeling. Like, I just don't care, because it's kind of like, well, I mean, you voted for Jill, it's partly your fault. But however, maybe this is why her phobias are kicking back, because she feels some sort of guilt, and that's why she's seeing clowns everywhere and she's kind of losing her mind, as we believe. We're introduced to Kai and his sister Winter. Kai is Evan Peters and Winter is Billy Lord. I'm happy to see Billy Lord is doing more, and honestly can't wait to see what Evan Peters continues to do with this psychopath of a character. Kai is a Trump supporter, and he's very excited to the point where he is thrusting his groin at the TV when the results are announced. And then he does this crazy thing where he blends Cheetos and puts them on his face. I did think that was smart, and I liked that for some reason. And we have Winter, who's a Hillary supporter, and I don't know how to feel about Winter quite yet, because honestly she scares me more than Kai. So Kai's whole motive in this is that he wants to cause chaos, to create fear in people, to have people's fears actually happen, because he believes that's going to make the world a better place if you confront and live in your fear. Something crazy like that. I don't know how to feel about Winter, because, okay, so Winter, she's really dark. She shows Ozzy this video of a guy being stabbed in the throat and being killed, and this leads up to like the ending of the episode where Ozzy sees the same clowns that his mom, Allie, saw in the grocery store, and they come out of an ice cream truck, and then they go into the Chang's house, and Winter, the babysitter, takes Ozzy to go see it, and basically he witnesses the clowns torturing and killing his mom's friends, the Changs. At the end of the episode, it's that Winter tells Allie and Ivy that he's making that up. It was a homicide-suicide case, and the clowns weren't out. The clowns weren't really there. The ending scene is that Allie's going to bed, and she turns around, and then there's a clown in her bed. Not just a clown, it's the blue mask with the several faces. It's kind of creepy in her bed with her, and then it ends with that. Honestly, just don't know how to feel about this episode so far, or this show so far. The first scene in the episode, I have to admit, was actually a little hard because it actually happened. And this is probably what a lot of people's problem is going to be, is that this is life. Of course, Cult is emphasizing it and dramatizing it a bit more, but overall, this is life for us for some reason right now. It's everywhere in what's going on in the world right now. It's kind of like you want to watch horror and movies in general to escape, to feel scared of a supernatural being or something you know that's probably not going to happen to you. Not being like having a literal scare for your life, because it's what life is right now. What I do like though about this episode and the show so far is I feel like they're pretty much accurately, of course, they're dramatizing, but I do feel like they're equally showing both sides' reactions. I feel like they're not really taking one side completely in this. I don't know, it's interesting. I'm intrigued overall. I don't know. I need to get past the part where this is kind of real life right now. Alright, so let's talk about my theories for this right now. And if these are spoilish for you, sorry, but I feel like I just need to say like my predictions and my theories just so they're out there. I think there has to be some sort of past or connection with Kai and Allie. Even though they ran into each other on the street, which I did like that scene where he tripped and dumped his drink on Ivy and Allie. But I do feel like there's something there with Allie and Kai, because I don't think Winter coming in to babysit for them is a coincidence. I felt like Kai set it up, and there's just something there that he knows and he wants to target them. Either it's just a target because they're two women married together and he's most likely against that, and it's a fear thing that he wants to put in people's minds and bring to life, or there's just something else there. Are the clowns real? I think they are real. Is Allie crazy? I don't think she's crazy. I think the writers is trying too hard to pull off that she's crazy. The medications, a therapist, I don't think she's crazy. I think these clowns are real, and maybe they just wanted to use the same masculine clowns, but it was the same masked clowns that she saw in the supermarket that Ozzy sees in the Chang's house. So I don't think that's quite a coincidence, because how can they imagine the same clown masks, like, unless they just wanted to keep the same clowns for viewer purposes. But because it's familiar, that's what I mean. Because it's familiar, you don't want to bring in more other looking clowns when you've already established so many in the supermarket, so you want to keep using the same without, so it doesn't become overwhelming to the viewers to keep track of all of these characters and clowns. But I don't think Ellie's crazy. I think the clowns are real, and possibly the clowns are there because of Kai and Winter. Overall, I am intrigued to see how this whole show plays out. I'm intrigued mostly the characters. I love Evan Peters. I'm happy they gave him more of a psychotic role, because I liked him in Hotel, what they showed of him, because he's been in every single season, so it's like, let's test his acting strengths even more. So I'm excited to see what he does with this character, even though, I mean, the character's not going to be my favorite, but I'm excited to see Evan do this, and same with Sarah Paulson. And I'm going to stick with it because it's American Horror Story. And overall, I think I give this episode a 6.5 to a 7, maybe more a 7 out of 10. Just because I really, when the episode ended, I didn't know how to feel. I didn't get a total sense of what this whole season is really going to be about. And I don't know. I'm just going to have to get used to the fact that it's not like a supernatural season or anything. It's reality, basically. But overall, I think I liked it. I won't really know until if I like this season or not until the middle of the season. I hope this video is not too long. I hope this review kind of makes sense. If you have any suggestions on like formatting a review, or if you want me to get into spoilers or do more like beat by beat explaining each scene and my opinion on it, let me know down below. And thank you so much for watching. Remember to love others, but first and foremost, love yourself, because you're beautiful no matter what anyone else says. Thanks for putting up with my annoying, nasally congested voice. Bye!